right, YouTube. Sorry, this is going to take me a second to figure this out here. Let's see where we're at. All right, let me see here. How do I do this? Ah! That was going to be the picture that I put on my YouTube, but as you saw, I uploaded again and no audio. So the only way I have around this is to upload it to the cloud and then go in here and play it directly from the cloud. So that's what I'm going to do. But what's nice about it, what's kind of cool, is that while it's playing, I'll be going through the comment section and be able to answer questions kind of live. Unlike after a video's over, while the video's on, we can do the questions. So, all right, let me see how this works, because I'm not sure. Let's see how this plays out.
All right, YouTube, Repo Man 64. What you think about the title? I know, a little deceptive, but if I can get you to watch these people's videos and put it all together, some of you will have some information that will help continue to put this together. And I am seeing everywhere, literally everywhere, where they are finding December the 7th as a very, very high watch day. I wish I could just tell you that the rapture is going to happen on this day, at this time. I'm just, like everyone else, I'm guessing, trying to figure it out. Now, we see in the book of Jasher, we learned that in our Bible it references the book of Jasher. Is it not written almost like, how do you not know this? It's actually written in the book of Jasher. We should be reading the book of Jasher. That being said, of course, I've said before, the Bible's complete, doesn't need anything else. And everything that we find in the history books, like the book of Jasher, simply enhances or confirms what we already know, what we've already found in the Bible. And it's nice to have that confirmation. And we're just simply trying to dig this out. I don't think anybody, when we get to heaven, God's going to be like, I didn't tell you to do that. It's literally goes completely against our nature and what the Bible teaches us, that we are to try to seek out this matter and try to figure it out. It's the greatest event besides or after the cross in 2,000 years. It will be the most spectacular event the world has ever seen. And they are going to try to explain it off. I think George from Return of the King just had put out a video where they're already setting everything up to say that those that disappeared were the ones that wouldn't conform to the new world. So we already know that that's being set up. 8 billion people on the planet. There are, I think the number was 1.5 billion professing Christians. Now, who do you think are going to be the ones that are standing there going, why am I still here? Didn't I cast out demons in your name? Didn't I walk old ladies across the street? Didn't I tithe my money like I was supposed to? Didn't I get baptized? Didn't I do all of these things? And God's going to say, depart from me, for I knew you not. Now, their faith will be enhanced in the tribulation. And that's why we worry about them, we pray for them, we don't dislike them or are angry with them in any kind of way. They will come to the saving grace, the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ and what he did on that cross for them during the tribulation. So, that all being said, what we're trying to do perpetually is figure out when it's going to happen, because it's the greatest day ever. And if you're of the mindset that we shouldn't even be trying, you have just joined the other 8 billion people on the planet that aren't even watching, don't care. you're worse than them because you're actually hearing the information and you're denying it. So be careful with that. And if it should go, well, not if, when it goes down, if it should go down on December the 7th, I pray that you will look into yourself and realize what happened and don't become as the other 8 billion people and say, look, yes, I was prideful. I thought I had it all figured out, just like the rich man that came up to Jesus and said, hey, I've got it all figured out. I got it all done. Jesus is like, oh, that's so cool. I'm so happy for you. Go sell all your stuff and follow me. Well, I can't do that, but I did everything else. There was that one sin that Jesus knows of always, and that one sin is what will get you into the tribulation. You don't want to be there. So don't be of the mindset that no man knows the day or the hour. That's just, we've already exhaustively explained that, and that is anybody who's looking forward to this event knows that that's not what that passage actually meant. It is not talking about rapture at all anywhere in that passage that says that. So now I want to go forward and give some more confirmation indicating not so much a December 7th, which is what I'm very much so looking at, but more of a when does the rapture occur? To do that, we go into our Bible and we go and study when did they go and who went. Now we know Enoch went. We know Elijah went. We know that John was taken up in the Spirit. Now remember the story of John. When he gets to heaven, he is seeing the seals being opened and the 24 elders. That's us. He's seeing us up there. So we're already there when he gets there. And finally, which I have not worked on this one, but just in case somebody says something, Philip was not raptured, but Philip was moved from one location to another. So as far as I know, all we have of people being raptured is Enoch and Elijah. John was taken up in spirit to see into the future, to see all the events that are going to transpire here very shortly, and Philip was simply moved from one location to the other. So, is it possible that we can look at Enoch, Elijah, and John to figure out when this took place? And I showed you in my last video that Enoch, according to the book of Jasher, was taken in wintertime. It doesn't give an exact date, but it says it was snowing, and that somebody mentioned in the comments that I was trying to figure out a word for the big boulders of snow, avalanche. And they went digging through all that and couldn't find anyone. So it clearly teaches that not only Enoch went, but the people who were with him went as well. The kings, the Pharisees, what you would call people who weren't quite believers, they stayed. They stayed here. They didn't go in this rapture. So we're left with Elijah. And now I want to give credit always, which is what I always do. It's why I promote so many channels, because I think it's important that if mine gets taken down, if Dr. Barry's gets taken down, if Aaron at God a Minute's get taken down, George from the Return of the King, Gevti, all these channels that are getting bigger are taken down. It might be that the smaller channel, the not so popular channel, will survive through this. I think there's going to be about a power outage of about 3 days. And when the power comes back on, people are going to be scrambling for stuff. And I know everybody's like, oh, they're going to delete it all. They're not that smart. They're not that good. I know you think they are, but they really aren't. Commander Kelly, KoolCat, in his video talking, he dug it out. I like how he says that. He dug it out. He went in to find out in Revelation about Satan. I believe it was in Revelation about Satan. When he showed up in the lake of fire, the others that were there with him were looking at him and go, that's the guy? That's the guy that we followed? That guy. He looks pitiful. He's crawling around on the ground. His wings are clipped. He's completely pathetic. we follow that guy, and that's exactly what you're doing when you're not in the Word trying to figure this out. It's exactly what you're doing when you haven't surrendered all of your works over and follow Jesus Christ alone. So, when we see Satan, or not me, I imagine we'll see it. I mean, it does give a depiction of that when you look at the rich man, and he was on the bad side and asking for a drop of water, or, please go warn my brothers. They have everything you had. Why would we go overboard for, somebody in hell? So let's go through. Oh, that's where I was going with this. Is we come on here and we make these videos, and our channels grow exponentially. But what we don't do a lot of, or I probably should do more of myself, I don't like bringing or talking about any other channel in any kind of negative light, even if I disagree with what they're saying. It doesn't matter. The work that they have done up to this point is amazing, and maybe their work is done. And they brought to the table what they were supposed to. They have their piece of the puzzle, and they're going to show up in heaven, and we'll all assemble this puzzle. Some of us, this new channel that I'm going to show you, I think I showed you him once before, but he has, I think, figured out when tribulation will end. I think he did it. And KoolCat was talking about him as well, and I'm going to do the same. But we get information nonstop coming to us, and it leads us down these pathways that find things like this with Enoch. Somebody sent me that, by the way. I didn't discover that Enoch was taken in the wintertime in the snow. This person said, I think it was to my, it's so much information coming, I don't remember where it was from, but sent it to me. I showed you in the last video who sent it, and they just don't get enough credit. The same thing is today. Spinebreaker, Kevin's a friend of mine, consider him a friend. We're in a little chat group that we are constantly going back and forth. I have Spinebreakers in there. Will from Worship and Watch is in there. Tony from the Cataclysm, Tony Early, is in there, and I'm in there, and we all are just constantly trying to figure things out. And to the credit of Spinebreaker, honestly, he discovered this, that Elisha was also taken in the wintertime, and I'm going to show that to you now. So enough of my talking. Let's get to the facts. I showed you this before. 2,520 days after December the 7th to October the 31st is the 1260, and the 1260 is October the 31st. October the 31st is the day the flood started. It is always the day the flood started. It never changes. The timeline that I've made never moves. In my opinion, the day of equal parts, if you look at it on time and date, you can go 600 years from now. The sun will move. The moon will never be in the right spot. But the day of equal parts will not change. It will always be 12 hours in the day and 12 hours at night. You can go back, I think 400 years or 600 years, I'm not sure, but there's an issue with the calendar. In 1582, they moved the calendar, I think it was forward or back 10 days. It's irrelevant. It doesn't affect the timeline. You always count from the day of equal parts. So if you call the day of equal parts March 16th now and March 6th back then, it doesn't matter. It still doesn't change the date. It changes the date by 10, but it doesn't change when things happen. So it's irrelevant to me. So what about this? What about? It doesn't matter. I don't care when you change the date to. The day of equal parts never changes. And that's, in my opinion, why the timeline is accurate, because God never changes. He says, I am the same today, yesterday, and tomorrow. Wouldn't he make a timeline that never changes? Today, tomorrow, and March 16th will always be the day of equal parts. So that's when we start the year on March 17th, the day after. That is the final Sabbath. If you were trying to go into the Holy of Holies on a Sabbath day, if you don't know what day March 16th is and what day that lands on the Gregorian calendar, you're apt to go in there on a Saturday. You're going to die because you can only go in there on the Sabbath. Of course, they don't have a temple now. I'm saying back in the day, which is why they kept dying. Nobody wanted to go in there because they couldn't figure it out because they were following all these other ways of calculating. So let me go on down here. I showed you that before. Snap a shot of that. You can leave that behind for the people that you think might be in the tribulation. That's the video I made for Dr. Barry. I don't think we're going to be here for it to air, but Dr. Barry, as you know, is putting on it's called All the Watchmen to read out of the book of Luke, and I got Luke, was it 10? I think it was 10. And that will air, of course, on the 10th, 5 days from now. We saw Aaron from God a Minute air his today. This is in our Bible. I showed you this in the last video, 2 Samuel 1:18, and in here says, is it written in the book? It is written in the book of Jasher. It's a matter of fact. It actually is written in the book of Jasher. Here again in Joshua 10:13, is not this written in the book of Jasher? Yes, this is written in the book of Jasher when the sun and moon stood still. So I found it in the book of Jasher. So I found other stuff in the book of Jasher, and I went through and I showed you that Enoch did not know when he was going. Just like us, Enoch did not know. He knew he was in the season. He was preparing for it, but he did not know the day he was going. Unto Enoch from heaven, and wished to bring him up to heaven to make him reign over the sons of God. He will be ruling, and this is us, over the angels. Now, it's not a prideful thing. It's just, this is probably why Satan rebelled against God, is because he did not want this creation in the image of God ruling over him, because he thought, hey, I'm the greatest. I'm the most beautiful angel of all. I don't want these humans ruling over me. But that's exactly what happened and why Satan fell, I think. So when we read on down, it says, I therefore do not know the day of my going. Now, somebody told me that I can go ahead and turn this so that I can enlarge it. I don't know what this does on your television. I don't know what this does, but there in the last line, I therefore do not know the day of my going. Enoch did not know. But then we continue reading. That's Enoch 24, by the way. And remember, like I said last time, Kislev 24 is when I think that we're going. We come back here and we turn it again. So these people are seeing this horse ride around. They actually come to Enoch to tell him. So Enoch, you would think, would be the first one to see it, but he's not. Other people saw it, and they told Enoch what they had seen, and Enoch said to them, on my account, it's because of me that this horse is descending to the earth. The time is come when I must go from you, and I shall no more be seen by you. So the fact that the horse, they brought him the information, told him that there's this horse making a circle up there in the sun, and it's time for him to go. And the horse descended at that time. So he gets a little bit of a warning that it's about to happen. He knows it's time. Earthquake that went off somewhere. He knows it's time, but he doesn't know exactly what time. But now, because he's seen this horse, he knows it's time. It's time for him to go. All right, let's see if I can do this here. So he's taken up. Not only him, but a bunch of other people are taken up as well. And when the kings returned, they caused a census to be taken in order to know the number of remaining men that were with Enoch. And it was upon the 7th day, there you have December the 7th, that Enoch ascended into heaven in a whirlwind. Now, the 7th day could also be the 7th day of Hanukkah. The 7th day of Hanukkah is what what's his name? I don't remember his name. It's I have a picture of him at the end. Patrick. I think his name's Patrick, and he's from End Time something, or he's studying the End Time. I'll give you his YouTube here towards the end. So they ascended, went up in a whirlwind in horses and chariots of fire. And on the 8th day, now this is the last day of Hanukkah, could be, they went out and of men with wherewith Enoch in that place from which he had ascended to heaven. And all the kings went to the place where they found the earth there filled with snow. He went up in the snow. He went up in winter time. It was winter time when he went up. And upon the snow were large stones of snow. Again, avalanche. Somebody sent me that and said, it's probably an avalanche. I'm like, oh, I couldn't remember that or think of that word at the time. And one said to the other, come, let us break through the snow and see perhaps the men that remained with Enoch are dead. And now under the stones of snow, under the avalanche, and they searched but could not find him. I think the appropriate word there would find them. He's the leader, so they're looking for him too. For he had ascended into heaven. So, let me see here if I need that. Okay, I don't need the small stuff anymore. All right. Amos 3:7 is what I just was telling you at the beginning of the video. Surely God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. He's going to tell us. Maybe it's at the last minute, just like Enoch. We know Enoch. We know now that Enoch went up in wintertime. If you don't watch, this is a clear warning. If you say, no man knows there they are, I'm not watching. I'm like, then why are you here watching? But they will. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I come upon thee. So keep watching. Why is it? God is not a God of confusion. He's not going to do this, but he is. In this instance here, not for your salvation. It's super simple. Jesus Christ died on the cross. On the third day he rose and paid for your sins. All you have to do is accept that free gift that he has. It's that simple. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. And that's what we are doing. We're desperately searching this out, trying to figure this out. All of us are. Now, spine breaker. He goes into try to figure out. I know Enoch leaves in the wintertime, but I don't know when Elisha and John leave. But he's like, well, John's easy. If you read this, I, John, whom also am your brother and companion in tribulation. Of course, he's not in the actual tribulation. He's in the tribulation of this planet because Satan is ruling. And in the kingdom and patience of Jesus Christ was in the isle that is called Patmos for the word of God and for the testimony of Jesus Christ. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. I've heard this argument. The Lord's day is the end. It's at the end of the millennium. It's at the end of the tribute. The Lord's day is every day that some major event takes place from heaven. The rapture is the Lord's day. The taking up of the tribulation saints, the taking up of the 144,000, the two witnesses. These are all the Lord's day. These are the days that the Lord will be here doing things on this earth. The end of the tribulation, the end of the millennium, start of the millennium. It's the Lord's day. And heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet saying, I am Alpha and Omega. Who's that? That's God. That's Jesus talking right there to him, behind him. The first and the last, and what thou seest, write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, unto Smyrna, unto Pergamos, unto Thyatira, unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. So, he wants him to warn all 7 groups of people, the bride, the saints, the 144,000, just every group, the people that are going to go into the millennium, even the people that will be taken up during the tribulation, all of it, everyone. That's what the seven churches represents. And what does he say here? And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. He saw the menorah. The menorah is representative of Hanukkah. He ties, Spinebreaker ties the 7 golden candlesticks, the menorah, to Hanukkah right there. So that is a big clue as to when John left. John left during Hanukkah, December 7th to December the 15th. At some point in there, remember I said we're already there. He might have gone up on the last day of Hanukkah. We might have been up there already for 7 days before he shows up. Because when he speaks to the one of the elders seems to be pretty cool with things. Like he's not all frazzled like I just showed up. No, he's been there for a minute. He's already gotten through the crown judgments. He's already got his rewards. He's already had this banquet. He's already seen his mansion. He's pretty relaxed. It's John that's not so relaxed, you know. So we see John now. We have Enoch going in wintertime because of the snow. We have John going during Hanukkah because of the 7 golden candlesticks. Spinebreaker digs this out. This is a brown bear. Their mating season is in the spring, from May to July. The Syrian brown bear is the bear mentioned in the Bible. The protectiveness of a mother bear towards her cubs is cited proverbially 3 times. You can find this in the Bible in 2 Samuel 17:8, in Proverbs 17:12, and in Hosea 13:8. In the Hebrew Bible, the Syrian brown bear is also mentioned in 2 Kings 2:23-25, mauling 42 young men who were threatening Elisha, which some teenage boys 42 of them were harassing Elisha, and 42 of them they were killed by 2 she-bears. And we asked the question, why? Because she was protecting her young. She's not aggressive unless she's protecting her young. She would only be protecting her young if she had young. Her cubs would have just been born. If they are mating seasons in the spring, then guess when they have their cubs? They have them around Hanukkah. That's why the 2 bears were so aggressive. That's why they took after those boys. 4 said, Hushai, thou knowest thy father and his men, that they be mighty men, and that they be chafed in their minds, as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field. And thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. So I wanted to read 2 Kings 2 to you. And it came to pass, when the Lord would take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. And Elijah said unto Elisha, Stay here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Bethel. And Elisha said unto him, As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they went to Bethel, both of them. And the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Elisha, not to Elijah, to Elisha, and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he said, Yeah, I know it. Hold your peace. This keeps happening to him. He's tired of it. He hasn't gone yet. It is not happening today. It doesn't happen today because Elisha goes on to the next town, and this same thing happens again, and it happens in every town that Elisha goes to. Elisha does not know when he's going. He's walking around saying, today's the day I go. Today's the day I go. Today's the day I go. And Elisha, being a tribulation saint, is right there with him. He believes in Jesus too, just doesn't believe in this date setting stuff. He's just not into it. He doesn't look forward to that. He's got too much going on this earth, and I'm going to show you proof of that. Elisha said unto him, Elisha, tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord has sent me to Jericho. And he said, as the Lord liveth, as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they came to Jericho, and the sons and the prophets that were at Jericho came to Elisha and said unto him, knowest thou that thy Lord will be taken away, that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he answered and said, yeah, I know it. Hold your peace. He's tired of hearing it. Elisha, at this point, is not saved. I want to clarify. I keep getting these, if we're not watching, does that mean we're not saved? That is, if you are watching and just dreaming of that day, you're probably saved. If it bothers you that people are putting forth these dates, you probably aren't saved. But you're right there. You're so close. You're right there. You just got stuff going on this world that you just can't let go of. Elisha was not saved. He was not covered by the blood of Christ. Elisha was. He left. And it wasn't just because of watching. And I'm going to show you that. And Elijah said unto him, stay here, I pray thee, for the Lord has sent me to Jordan. And he said, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they both went on. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets went and stood to view afar off. He's got there's a lot of people who have no faith whatsoever, who watched Harold Camping's date of May 21st, 2011. They saw the billboards, they saw everything, and there were people who had zero faith whatsoever, just kind of stopping for a second. Is that right? You know how many people dropped to their knees before that event took place? Do you have any idea how many people were saved the day that Harold Camping was wrong? So many. And so here we have 50 people, 50 men of the sons of the prophets went and stood to view afar off, and they stood by Jordan. And Elisha took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, so that they too went over on dry ground. And it came to pass, when they were gone over, and Elisha said unto Elisha, ask what shall I do for thee before I be taken away? Now at this point now, Elijah knows something has told Elijah that he is actually going today. All the other todays passed, but this today he is going. And I would say the same thing to everyone who says, I'm not watching. It's going to happen, 100 years from now. It's going to happen 10 years from now. It's going to happen next year. It's not going to happen right now. It's not going to happen right now. It's going to happen later on. Ask what shall I do for thee before I be taken away from thee? And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if you see me when I am taken from thee, like I always say, if you see me go, you're going to know what happened. That is the double portion. The rest of the world is going to think aliens and all this other, but you're going to have a foundation of Christ to know what happened. If you see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. Those who witness this rapture that do not understand what just happened, they will not get a double portion. Those who are following very close behind, but just are hung up in this world, will get a double portion. And it came to pass, as they still went on, and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven, and Elisha saw it, and he cried. Now, Elisha has witnessed a rapture. Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariots of Israel and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took a hold of his own clothes, his own worldly possessions, everything he had of himself, and he tore them into pieces. Everything that he was holding on to. Every reason why he says, I'm not watching. I don't think it's going to be for a long time. I believe in Jesus, but I'm not buying into this wholeheartedly, this rapture thing wholeheartedly. He was not saved. When does he get saved? At what point is he saved? He took up his mantle of Elijah that fell from him and went back and stood by the bank of Jordan, and he took the mantle of Elijah that fell from him and smote the waters and said, where is the Lord God of Elijah? And when he also had smitten the waters, they parted hither and thither, and Elisha went over. He is now saved. He is covered by the blood. He put on the mantle. So, here we are here. Let's see here. And when the sons of the prophets, which were to view at Jericho, saw him, they said, the spirit of Elijah. Now this part here is where they come to Elisha and say, don't think it was raptured. I think aliens took him. Maybe God carried him up in a wind and then just dropped him on a mountain somewhere. Elisha now saw it happen. He has the mantle, the covering of Christ. He knows what happened, but he's going to let these people embarrass themselves, just like the tribulation saints will during the tribulation. They are going to know what happened, but the people that are the other 8 billion people will not. And when the sons of the prophets, which were to view at Jericho, saw him, that they were there watching, they saw the whole event take place. This is how much they believed after watching this rapture event. The spirit of Elijah doth rest on Elisha, and they came to meet him and bowed themselves to the ground before him, and they said unto him, behold, now there be with thy servants 50 strong men. Let them go, we pray thee, and seek thy master, lest peradventure the Spirit of the Lord hath taken him up and cast him upon some mountain or into some valley. And he said, ye shall not send. Don't send anybody. He's in heaven. He's not on a mountain. And they urged him till he was ashamed. They kept pestering him. Come on. You can't say you don't know that. He's up on a mountain somewhere. Are you going to let him die up there? We're going to go find him and get him. He said, go ahead and send them then. They sent, therefore, 50 men, and they sought 3 days, but found him not. And when they came again to him, for he tarried at Jericho, he was lingering there at Jericho, just waiting on them, he said unto them, didn't I tell you not to go? But you did anyway, you know? So, right after, like immediately after, Elisha takes Elijah's place. The same thing's going to happen when the bride is gone. The tribulation saints are going to quickly step up and try to figure this out. We have Elisha healing Jericho's waters here, so some time has passed. But then we see that Elisha is mocked. He went up from thence to Bethel. As he was going by the way, there came forth, it says little children, teenagers, more teenage boys out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. And he turned back, looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the woods, and tore 40 and 2 children out of them, tore them apart. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria. So you see why we could not figure out, or Spinebreaker could not figure out when Elijah was taken up. But we have an account here. And the only time these bears are aggressive are protecting their young. And she was hibernating. She had these young bears, these cubs, and these 42 boys over there making a ruckus, laughing at Elisha, and she comes out. Two of them come out, tear those boys apart. So let's continue on here with the pictures. I just wanted to point out that we know Enoch was taken the winter. Now we know Elisha would have been taken the winter. These bears would not have been aggressive as they were if it had not been in the wintertime. And we know that John was taken up and seized the menorah. So we have three accounts pointing towards the Hanukkah. This was something that Spinebreaker found. He wanted me to get it to KoolCat because KoolCat was discussing in his video something about after the rapture, the war will end, or something's going on 2 months after the rapture. I don't recall what it was, but Spinebreaker had me send that to him. This is the guy. I think his name is Patrick. This is his channel. I promoted him before, but he is, let me see if I have something else. Okay, he is very convinced that the rapture will occur at some point between December 7th and December 14th. Now, this is Hanukkah, the entire week of Hanukkah, and then on the 8th day is the last day of Hanukkah. So Hanukkah lasts 7 days, and then the 8th day. So he had, I guess, a very good video that KoolCat was raving, so I wanted to get in here and promote him as well. End Time Watchman, you can go watch his videos. He's really good at his studies as well. But I remember, KoolCat seems to think that in watching his video that he has figured out when the end of the tribulation is. Remember I said before, if we could figure out when the tribulation ends or the tribulation begins, we could probably get pretty close to figuring out when the rapture is. And he believes that he has figured out that 7 years and 7 days after the rapture is when tribulation will end on December the 14th in 2030. And so I was like, that's kind of mind-blowing. I think I'll put that on there so that you guys can go look at that yourself. And this I found on God a Minute's. God a Minute's got a lot of stuff going on. He's got a Discord where he does Bible studies and all kinds of wonderful stuff. I have a Discord where mostly it's about news and stuff that's going on in the world, but God a Minute does a lot of different stuff. Prayer time, you can get on there and talk with him. It's a really cool Discord that he has. So this person, Diana, in God a Minute, finds this, which I say again, everybody has their part of the puzzle. And when I notice all the pieces of the puzzle are beginning to point towards date, I got to put it on here. Not sure if this has already been done in a video, but I was doing a deep dive study late last night in Genesis after listening to one of KoolCat's lives, and look what I found. Sarah is the only woman to have her age at death recorded in the Bible. I did not know that. She was 127 years old. That's pretty cool that we know that. 12:7, like in Esther, with King Ahasuerus reigning over 127 provinces. But wait, there's more. Sarah's death is recorded in verse 23. 127:23. She's 127. December 7th, 2023. There are no coincidences in the Bible. God is the master of this. And when we start being able to place these puzzle pieces, I was just literally on my way home, stopped. I saw this. I pulled over. I'm like, let me read this. I'm like, what? So I just copied this so that I could share it with you. And the place where she and Isaac were buried is Kiriath Arba, which partly means a verb, kara, which is identical to the biform. This is way too technical for me. For the biform of the previous means to call or call near. Adjective, adjective means call or summoned. So she goes into this whole thing, but then I wanted to show you where she found it. Sarah lived 123 and 20 and 7 years. 127 years, and it's written in verse 23. I mean, wow, that's a huge piece of the puzzle right there. That's awesome, So, where am I at here? So, anyway, I wanted to get all that out there. That's other people's research. It's fantastic. I don't have to find everything. I just love that they found it. My channel is large enough, getting large enough now to where I can share it with all of you. And we are definitely looking at a high watch day of December the 7th for a multitude of reasons, not just because, it's the next date. I've seen a lot of dates come and some good information, but I've never really seen, as far as December the 7th, what we're seeing, all the pieces that are falling together very nicely, and all the research that all these brothers and sisters are doing, trying to figure it out, just falling perfectly into place. So go to a quiet place by yourself. Nobody needs to know, and you don't need to tell anybody except the Lord in your heart. We are running out of time. There's not much time left. You do not want to go into the tribulation. But if you find yourself there, don't be angry at God. You put yourself there. You did this to yourself. Look, just like Elisha did, see what you're hanging on to and tear it off, throw it away, and just put on the whole armor of God, the whole armor of Jesus, because that's all we ever need is the mantle of Jesus, the covering of Christ. And then know that you are going to go at some point. I think it's fast. I don't think it's going to be very long after the rapture. I think it's pretty quick. So that's just my thoughts. I haven't found anyone. Somebody's associated the tribulation saints as being the two witnesses, because it clearly says they go up after 3.5 years, but that's kind of weak. I think that the tribulation saints are going to go. There's only one rapture. I've said that before. That's rapture, living people and the dead in Christ that are taken up before the tribulation begins. We're going to be there with John, witnessing the first seal being opened. But then the rest of them will die during the tribulation. There will be no live rapture after that. They will all be gathered after that. You see that written over. Sorry, I'm getting hoarse. Over and over again. So like, comment, share, and subscribe, and go subscribe to those channels I showed you. They're the pieces of the puzzle. We got to put it together, and it's all coming together, and it's all looking like December the 7th. So hang in there, keep watching, and if you find anything, come into my Discord and to my room and put it in there. Go into God a Minutes, give it to him. Go into KoolCats. He's got it's called Clapper app. Not as fond of it as I am of the Discord app, but it's still functional. And go in there and put it in there. Whatever you want to give that information to, whomever you think will be able to figure it out the best, So just keep working together to try to figure this out. All right, Repo Man 64. We'll chat with you again. Oh, we got 2 days. We got 1 day. Really, we got 1 day. It becomes Hanukkah on December the 7th at nightfall in Israel at 4:35 p.m. That's sunset in Israel, 4:35, I think, around there in Israel, which equates to December the 7th, for me, 9:35 in the morning on December the 7th, which is a Thursday. How many people said that they didn't ask for the exact date, but they want to know what day, and they heard Thursday. So another piece of the puzzle? Maybe. But so we're right around the corner from this. Is getting exciting. I'm so ready to go. So ready to go. Jump up right at the right time. Have you ever done that in an elevator? When the elevator goes down, you jump, you like float for a second before gravity catches you because the elevator is still going. So that's what I'm doing. Get up to heaven. It's going to happen. get there first because I leaped a little bit, right? Probably not. All right, we'll chat with you all again later.
All right. That was pretty cool, I think. I hate it when I upload a video and the audio doesn't follow. I don't know what that is. Thank you for joining the live. I'm trying to see if we have any questions, but we've been inundated by one guy that's talking about something that my advice is if you have something to say that you feel the need to repeat it 1,000 times, start your own YouTube, and maybe I'll promote you if it's something that's as far as watching is concerned. I am in Florida. I am not in California, so I'm 3 hours before California. What time is it? California is coming up on 9 here, so that would be 6 p.m. Was it good stuff? Thank you, Spinebreaker. Yeah, he found that out, that it looks like that all three, Elijah, Enoch, and John, were taken up in the winter time. So that's kind of a big deal. No more Culvers. I don't even remember that. Did I eat at Culver's? I do like Culver's. We're looking at the beginning of Hanukkah. When does Hanukkah begin? Hanukkah begins at nightfall on December the 7th. That's what the world's looking at because of the way their calendar lined up somehow perfectly. I don't know how. But that's the timeline as well, is looking at December the 7th at nightfall in Israel. So, thank you very much. Yeah, we're just trying to get this stuff out here. Trying to KoolCat me. Yeah, Salvation Zone, you need something. You need to start your own YouTube. You can't come in here like that. You know that's not right. We're trying to discuss the return of Jesus, and it's like you come in here to try to stop that, and I don't understand that. It doesn't. Is it any good what you're doing? It's coming in here complaining because your 4 YouTube channels were shut down by is it Michelle over there at KoolCats channel? I don't even know what that has to do with this channel. And so while you're doing that, everybody's arguing with you and nobody's learning anything. And I got people still asking me what time. It's literally nightfall in Israel on December the 7th. And if that's the fact, if that's when it's going to happen, I don't understand what passage you're trying to point out. Is that a passage about women shouldn't be over men or something? It's just... she's a moderator, and that's what she does. And if you get in here and do this kind of stuff, she's going to moderate you. So let's see what else we got. I got to get up early for work, so I can't pull these 4-hour all-nighters like Commander Kelly does, but man, I love listening to him at work. If Michelle is in here, Gina or Sister Sandy, if Michelle is in here, can you turn her into a moderator? I don't know what is Michelle's name in here. She can help out. She's quick, quick with the, and I like that. So, does anybody know what her name is in here? Let's see. Yeah, all this drama and nobody's talking about the return of Christ. That's straight from Satan. We should be talking about the return of Christ, not this other stuff. This is not itchy ear stuff. You're going to learn that here real quick, Salvation Zone, real quick. I didn't make you a moderator. Gina did. She knows how to do it. I don't know enough about Discord. Gina runs it. You run it. I have no idea. Oh, this isn't Discord. This is YouTube. I don't know how to do that. So, is Michelle in here? Is that what's happening? She's not, because I think you can click on her name and turn her into a moderator. I don't know how that works. I wish I was more tech savvy. Yeah, Rapture. Yes, she does. She does a good job. And my moderators are good. I just felt like maybe they could get some help. Well, like I said in the beginning, this that YouTube channel that I promoted, he's found a lot of information looking at the last day of Hanukkah, and I believe Commander Kelly said that it looks like he might have found the last how do you say the end of the tribulation. That's 7 years and 7 days exactly. That'd be pretty cool. Lines up. Yeah, salvation zone. I never have said you weren't saved. I don't know you, so I've never said that. Yeah, 9:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time would be definitely nightfall in Israel at that time. There's no sound? Is there no sound? Yeah, there's sound. Alright, 1 day, 14 hours, 32 minutes. Let's go. Try to get my hair all messed up like him so I can look crazy. I can't do it. I don't have any hair to get messed up. Yeah, the devil comes in to distract. That's for sure. We gotta not allow him his moment, because when he gets to hell, it's gonna be like, this guy? This is the guy we were afraid of? So, alrighty. This was the only way I could get that video out. I thought it was pretty good. And, okay, good, there's sound, okay. Rapture Ready, don't you have a YouTube? Do I remember you from having a YouTube? I think you have your own YouTube as well. Am I wrong? I don't have the... and I pray for that when I get to heaven, the memory capacity that Commander Kelly does for calling verses off the top of his head and remembering a verse from 10 books earlier. I don't know how he does it, but he's blessed with that mindset, and it's awesome. I love watching him teach. I learn so much from him. So excited. If this is really it tomorrow, man, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh yeah, the problem is you can only answer once every minute because they have it on slowdown. So, oh, earthquake just happened. I wonder where that's at. Let me take a look. 5.2. Yeah, they're just going off like crazy over there in the Philippines 9 minutes ago. Yep, Jesus is all you need. That's all you need. Yes, Rapture Ready has a YouTube. Okay, good. Yeah, I love promoting. I don't know. I probably have. If you have one, I probably subscribed. I don't know. I'll have to go in and look. There's so many awesome YouTube channels. I can't even name them all. They're over. Oh, is it picking my nose? Yes. Amen. Thank you, Rapture Ready. You guys meet, I thought about doing this. I actually did it in that video for Dr. Barry, where I had to read Luke 10. I introduced this guy. I'm not much of a showman, so this is Rabbi Zaith. His name is Rabbi Zaith. And he better get things right or he'll just punch out. Need to integrate him somehow, but I just, like I said, the way Dr. Barry does with Mr. Bones, I don't know, I couldn't keep up with that. That's crazy. Let's see. Okay, I don't see a lot of questions. I think that I will call it a night. Yeah, we need an 8.7 for sure. Yeah, I introduced him in that video, so. That's not what it says. You got to read the comments. It doesn't say don't watch KoolCat. It says don't, exclamation point, watch, exclamation point, Commander Kelly. And then at the bottom, if you go into the bottom of it, it'll say don't stop watching, Commander Kelly. It was a play on words. Some people are drawn to drama. Maybe they thought there's some drama going on there. Yes, he does. Dr. Barry's awesome. Let's see. All right. Well, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for dropping by. And it's looking, everything we're finding is looking more and more like December the 7th. I can't imagine passing it, but I couldn't imagine passing many other dates as well. But I've also not seen so many different people in so many different YouTubes coming up to the date in so many different ways. You just saw that post I put about from Facebook, where she also links it in her, with the post I made. It links it also to December the 7th. She was 127. She's the only woman in the entire Bible where it records her age at death, 127, 12/7. I mean, and it was in verse 23. Seriously, I mean, you see how God works. It's like he puts it right there, All right. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. It was awesome. I like doing the lives and not as good at it as Commander Kelly. Can hold a 4 or 5 hour live, and I'm just like, how does this guy do that? So, all right, we will chat with you all again. Maybe in heaven. I hope it's in heaven. I'm ready to go. We'll take it easy.